Hello, it's Nicholas with the Backyard TARDIS, and I'm here to talk more Time Lord Victorious. And really been enjoying this series. If you are not aware of it, it is an interconnected Doctor Who multimedia series. Completely not anything to do with the current show, so don't be turned off if you're not a fan of the current generation of Doctor Who, because this stuff has been great. And this is one of my favorite ones of this show, and so I'm going to try to give spoiler light, but try not to spoil the big plot points. So garner interest in it, because not enough people are talking about it. But if you are like already going to go see it, I'd say go see that first and come back, because I do want to hear people's thoughts on it as well. But this is being produced by Big Finish. And these are audio dramas, so it's not a book being read. These are dramas that have been done audio by actors, and like old radio broadcast dramas, and really great, top notch. I give it a Big Finish. They're doing great work here. It's an 8th Doctor featuring Paul Mcgann as the 8th Doctor, and it starts out with the TARDIS is ripped out of the time stream. And he's like, who would be crazy enough to do this? And he opens up the door, and he's on a Dalek ship surrounded by Daleks, and he's like, should have figured it was you lot. And right off the bat, there's a bunch of banter, and this is the first thing. This is what I want everybody's thoughts on. Something that's been one of my favorite parts of this is that we're not just dealing with Dalek drones. The standard exterminate, exterminate. You will be exterminated. Very repetitive, drone-like mentality. Yet we're told they're super smart, they're this and that, but they all seem to have a vocabulary of like 10 words. So in this, we have the Dalek Emperor, and I can't wait to get it. We have the Dalek Strategist, the Executioner, the Scientist. So these different ones that appear in this show, and so I really feel like for some it might rub them the wrong way. I think it's going to be a lot like the Borg Queen in Star Trek. Everybody really liked the Borg, and then they liked the movie where the Borg Queen was introduced, but then there was the subsequent movies, or I should say episodes of Voyager, where they felt like it watered down the Borg, because the Borg were like this faceless enemy you couldn't reason with, and then suddenly there was the Queen. And these kind of do the same. However, I feel like all of these different characters stay very true to what a Dalek is. You could see any Dalek being this way, but having them be just slightly a little bit different in personality, interacting. And my favorite has to be the Dalek Strategist. He is heavily involved in this one. You have the Dalek Executioner. Like his solution to everything is like, we just kill it. We're going to blow it up. Exterminate. And he seems to want to do that even when it's not to their benefit. And so he has to be held back by the Emperor. And the Emperor has basically placed these other like top Daleks of their other fields in place. And so he'll listen to them, but he makes the final call. And so he's rather, but the Strategist has come up with this plan that they need to bring in the Doctor. That their best bet is to use the Doctor, and they have realized, just like the Doctor did in the last one, that somebody is changing time, erasing whole planets and people and races out of existence, and the Daleks are worried that it could be them next. And so, but they're turning to the Doctor, who is one of their greatest enemies. And they know this is something he's going to be out, so they're like, we're going to enlist you. And so they convince him, and they go down to this planet where they've been invited, and they're going to go for peace talks. And the Daleks are trying to create this treaty, but you kind of find out these people have a machine that can take the DNA of a sample and go out and erase the people from time. Not just kill the people now, erase them from ever existing. And so, very powerful weapon. And what they've been doing is I put that wrong. It doesn't erase them, it de-evolves them. So basically starting them over on their journey of becoming whatever kind of race they are. And they're basically, though, taking, they're not just killing everybody alive in a moment. They're killing everyone in this species' existence, and wiping them from existing. And so there's a big moral dilemma there, but their idea is they're taking species who they feel don't measure up, get rid of them, let them do a do-over, and hope that they're a better species the second time around. So they feel like they're taking a moral high ground. There's a lot, like I said, I'm going to keep this very plot light, but there's a lot of back and forth, Daleks betraying the Doctor betraying the Daleks betraying these people with this new super weapon, them betraying the Daleks, betraying the Doctor, all of this back and forth, lots of resounding speeches from the Doctor and the Strategist, their banter back and forth. The Doctor is amazed by the Strategist. He recognizes, hey, the Strategist is an older model. He's not one of the newer, more impressive things. So why is he still around? Why is he in charge when he's this older model? And so it really, they have a good relationship. They seem to work well together. And you'll see that the Strategist, throughout the Time Lord Victorious, he continues to do this with multiple Doctors, is to make alliances, like pull the Doctor out of a time stream and try to use him to whatever purpose they have. And in the animated series, he does that with the mechanoids. So, he's really good at, like, you say strategist, but he can almost be like the Dalek manipulator, because he manipulates people. It was a really good play. I really like how they interact, and I really like this new depth to the Daleks. They didn't, like I said, I know there's probably going to be some people who, because of that, they won't like it. But for me, I thought the Strategist was an amazing character, and I really love him, and I hope that he sticks around farther past this, that he becomes a Doctor Who staple. The Emperor is what you would expect from the Emperor. He's the Emperor. He's an undeniably correct Dalek. He's has weight and authority to him. The Executioner is basically shaking because he's being told that the Doctor's there on the bridge. We're working with the Doctor, and you can't shoot him. And the Doctor knows it. He knows he's ordered not. And so the Doctor starts teasing him, making fun of him, and the Strategist, it's not wise that, and he's like, you know as well as I do that you brought me here, the Dalek Emperor is holding his leash. He can't kill me. And, the Strategist is like, maybe we shouldn't be testing this. And there's multiple times where the Dalek Executioner is like, that's it. I'm going to kill you. You insulted the Daleks. You must be exterminated immediately. And the Strategist is like, nope. This is direct violation of the Emperor's orders. So they had that back and forth. But it really, the ending speech that Paul Mcgann gives is a speech worthy of the best of the Doctor Who speeches. I think to some of the rousing speeches that I can think of, speeches the second Doctor, the third Doctor, the fourth Doctor, they've all given good speeches. In new Doctor Who, especially the 10th Doctor, the 11th Doctor, 12th Doctor, all give some of those amazing speeches. When I'm feeling down, I just pull up YouTube and I put like best Doctor Who speech and just listen to some of those speeches because it's so good. And I feel that the Doctor is pretty much defeated. And he gives a speech so well that it turns everything in his favor. It's powerful, it's moving, and that to me was something very special, and I think goes right up there with some of those best speeches of clips that we've been seeing from the show. And so, definitely something that is memorable, good plot, and of course afterwards we see some more stuff happen which will affect more of Time Lord Victorious. But this kind of gives an idea of this plot of, you know, once again, the de-evolving. We saw a little bit of that in one of the master short trips for Time Lord Victorious. And we know that some of the greater plot is with these creatures from the beginning. And so I'm really interested. I'm hoping when I put all of this together that I'm going to be able to make sense of the story. I watched a review of one of the novels. I really need to get that and read that, because I think it's going to help tie a lot of these threads together. Because this is one of the things, this Time Lord Victorious, it's designed so that you can consume one piece of media but enjoy it all. So you can consume, you know, just the audio dramas. They kind of do three of these audio dramas are directly tied together, but you have the Dalek animated show is completely its own thing, but there's elements in there that come to this. And then you have, you know, there's 3 different comic series, and those comics kind of all each tell their own story, but there's elements of them that tie back to a bigger narrative. And been trying to put that, I'm hoping as the pieces go, and then on top of all that, you have like the little Eagle Moss figures. You get those come with a booklet with more details. So all this stuff comes together to form one bigger cohesive story. So looking forward to it. This one has been one of my favorites so far. I really like the new Daleks. Definitely give it a listen. Alright, this is Nicholas with the Backyard TARDIS, and that was my semi-spoiler review of Doctor Who Time Lord Victorious, Enemy of My Enemy.